let's look at the navigation of the course and go over how the modules are set up. Remember that for this district requirements, we need to demonstrate that you have written 8,000 words. 6,000 of them are to be written in essays, 2,000 in regular course assignments. This is very important and wakes me up at 3 a.m. So we want to make sure that we can account for those 8,000 words. I have the course set up so that we will meet and excel that requirement. Remember that you need to stay logged in the course when you are studying. And that way, your study time is registered in the course. You don't need to do anything but keep the course open while you're studying, while you're researching articles, while you're writing your rough drafts. All that kind of thing. Keep that course open so that your study time is registered. When I look at people, I see your name and I see how much time you have logged in the course. Now you saw that Carnegie module in the syllabus, so you know what we need to be able to demonstrate there. So let's set this up for success from the get-go and have a great semester. Now let's go over to the modules page and go over that together real quick. Now remember, when you log in the class, you'll be taken to this welcome page and you'll see recent announcements listed above. On the left, you'll have your dashboard. This is your account where you can add pictures, where you can add video content that you can later submit through the discussion boards. And so this is your account where you can manage all kinds of content and things that you have in the course. This is the calendar, and here is the inbox where you would send emails to me. On the left menu bar, you have Home, Announcements, Modules, Discussions, Grades. You have some tutoring choices, NetTutor, and Name Coach. Now, let's go on over to Modules. We begin with the Start Here menu, which you want to access. And let me show you how fun and easy it is to go through the course and make sure you never miss a page. We're going to click on this page first. Here you see an overview tutorial that explains to you how dates are open and so forth. But the tricky thing is clicking the Next button, because that takes you to the next page and you don't have to do anything other than read the page. Look, cute little videos about me. This is a fun free service called Animoto. You can go and put slides together of yourself and make your own little film and get a HTML code and load it into your discussion board. It's super fun. Then you click Next. If you got lost, you can always go back to the previous one. Now you click Next and you look over that information. There's your syllabus again. It's also on the home page, but you have it there. Going on down. And then you look that over. As soon as you've read everything, you go to Next. And so it goes throughout the entire course. After the Start Here menu, we begin the week 1. We begin with the regular course exercises. Again, using that nifty Next button to make sure that we don't miss a page. Every week, we'll have an overview. And that overview will consist of a diagram for you to see. It'll show you the week, what you're going to be reading that week. Are there any discussions for that week? Sometimes there are, sometimes there aren't. What are the assignments for the week? What are the category of the assignments, so that you can balance those between that and the syllabus that also shows you the weighted totals for assignments, and which objectives are being met. And those objectives, of course, are in the syllabus. And then the final words. Now, this is an approximation of words. If you wrote a few less words than this and a few less words than that, it's not going to break the bank, but this is a general idea of how many words you would want to write. So in the open forum, you think, well, do I just say, hi, my name's Debbie? Hi, my name's Debbie. That's 4 words. No, you need to give some information about yourself, maybe include something that you've saved, images that you've saved in your account, and you can post those in the discussion boards and so forth. But just so you know, and I'm not going to repeat this again as we go through, the total words is an approximation so that we can hit our target of 8,000 words. I want you to work together with me because on everything you write, you will include a word count. Now you say, well, Professor Hall, what about a discussion board? Well, I would. If I've got to write 8,000 words in a semester, you better know I'm going to write down every word I write and get credit for it. And if you don't put down that word count, you don't get credit towards those words because we can't prove it to any administration official if we don't have it written down somewhere, right? So that's what we're going to do on that. Now, let's go over and look at the next week. Throughout the course, the first section of the week will include information that's important for you to know. We have the best library I've ever seen in my whole life and librarians that are just awesome. So you want to make sure that you read all of these things. That ends the Start Here module, and now we move on, and of course that'll have a picture in the next button, and that takes you straight on through to the first introduction. And week 1 is where we're going to do the discussion boards. We're going to get familiar with everything. There are tutorials. As soon as you open up this, it'll explain to you what you need to do. And there's a fun little bonus right there that's going to set you off on the right foot. Do you get word count credit for those words? Yes, you do. Anytime you write a word in this class, you get credit for it, and it goes towards that 8,000. Now, we are in week 2, and we always start with the study materials, and you're expected to go through that. Here's that same overview like you see with every course with a suggested number of words. You go through everything, read all this. This one is super, super important. And you go on through and read everything. And then after that, you're going to go to the assignments. So for each week, you have your study pages, and then you have the assignments. And all of them are so much fun. Then, now you're at the end of week 2 module. And where do we go from there? That's right, we click the next button. And the next button is going to take us to our next section and what we're working on there. Now we've come up to week 3, and I want you to learn about a very important concept that we're going to build the whole course on, and that is the concept of bias. So these study materials will help you prepare for the assignment, which of course is going to be the first essay. And it's going to be a current documentary. We're going to define current as 1999 until today. I realize that that's a little dated, but I don't care. I don't want you to be chained down to something. I want you to be able to have the flexibility, because it may be that there's a documentary that was presented in 1999, and then you found one in 2019, and you want to do a little comparison between the two. You might get excited about this and do some very interesting things. So that's why I leave a nice big gap for you to fill in. And of course, there were the studies, and here's the assignment. And then we move on to the next week. And we do that using that next button. The step 4 is where we're going to save an animal. And you're going to want to lock down that animal choice before anybody else, because once it's gone, and you'd have to pick a different one. Let's look at that together. You will open this list, pick your animal, and quickly go to that discussion board and lock that animal down so nobody else can use it. Why? Because one time I had 35 essays on the Bengal tiger, so there. All right, moving on. Click Next, and we just move on to the next item. And when you click Next, you can see that I'm giving you step-by-step instructions on how to save your animal, and there is the PDF. There's always a tutorial, and there's always a PDF with instructions. And a general word count idea. You may exceed that number of words, but I can't imagine how you could write it in less than the words that I've indicated and do a good job. Now, if you ever just get lost in the course and you can't remember where in the world you were, you can always go back over to this left menu bar and click Modules and go back and see the list of modules. So sometimes I do that. I click that next button and I forget where I am and I go previous, and now I forgot where I am, and so I have to go back to the modules page, and that helps with that. So now we've finished this. We're going to save something. We're going to do a documentary, then we're going to save something, which I think is so much fun. Pick an animal you love, because you're going to love it for a long time. You've got quite a bit of time to work on that. That's the luxury of these longer semesters, is that you have time to work on these assignments. Now we're going to move into an argument essay where you're going to pick a topic. And once again, you're going to pick a topic that nobody else has picked, so you have to lock that down too. So after you've clicked Next and you've read all of these study documents, then you're going to come down here, and this is where you're going to lock your topic. So to do that, you're going to click on this, and then you will see after you've chosen your topic, you will lock that topic by clicking here, and that'll take you to the correct discussion board. And here is the list of topics. There are 300 topics here. If you can't find one, I give up. You'll notice that each one of these topics are a point of discussion for debate, right? And you're going to take a position on the answer to one of these questions. And you can't just say yes or no. Of course, you need research. You need to see what both sides say. There are step-by-step instructions for that. And you're going to pick the topic you want. In that lock box in the discussion board, you will say, my name is Debbie Hall, and I'm locking down topic number 178, why do people believe politicians? Okay, now then you see one like this, it just says glaciers. Well, that's a nice broad topic, and we're going to have to narrow that. So when you look through these topics to make a choice, you just kind of have to decide, do I want one that's a specific question, or do I want one that is a really broad topic and I want to practice narrowing a topic down to something that's really focused? So there's 300 to look through. Pick the one you want, and as soon as you pick it, lock it down. And here we are. We've done that. And then we go through the step-by-step instructions for how to write an argument essay. Now you have plenty of time to work on this, so you want to make sure that it's a really good essay and follows all those directions. And it's very important. It's heavily weighted. It's a whole lot of words. And so we want to really make sure that this is an excellent essay. Now we come to the fun, final, creative essay. And for that, we have 5 weeks to work on this. Now, those people who take this class in the summer wish they'd had 5 weeks to work on this, because it's a very demanding exercise, but boy, is it ever worth it. So you remember a discussion board opened up at the very beginning of the semester where you were going to pick an image, and I don't care if people use the same image as long as it's a unique story, but you fall into a problem with some of that. But the images that you're going to pick from are located right here. And when this set of weeks and instructions open, then you'll be able to see everything, and you'll be able to go step by step by step through this process of writing the narrative essay. In your case, for English 103, and some of you have taken my other courses, and that's fun because you know that I always have students write a creative narrative essay that demonstrates an understanding of all of the items that we studied in the course. But in your case, you have the hardest kind of narrative to write, and that is a crime-solving topic. That is the hardest genre to write, and that's why you've got plenty of extra time to do that. And, of course, a masterpiece is expected, and you will want to write a masterpiece. So that's it for the navigation through the course. It's a little bit of a long tutorial. I like to keep them a little shorter than this. but I want to make sure that you clearly understand how the course is laid out and how you'll move through the course. These weeks will be opening up throughout the course. They're not all open at once. And so I have that announcement that tells you the dates that these weeks that we just reviewed will be open. So you're going to have a wonderful time this semester. It's so exciting. Critical thinking is so much fun, and I look forward to working with you all semester. Remember, you email me about your topics. You can talk with your Cyber Cafe group about individual questions, and you will see Cyber Cafe topics placed in that discussion board area as soon as the class is all registered in the course and I can put you into your Cyber Cafe groups. That's a little group of people where you can have lots of fun and ask your questions about what's due, should I include this or what. So that concludes this tutorial. Let's have a great semester.